Happy birthday, America. I know you are getting ready to light the fireworks, but before the fireworks outside get lit, there's plenty of sunlight outside, right? So it's not time for those type of fireworks. You should see the fireworks on this show. If you saw what happened when we talked about the offense and made this offensive draft, there were definitely a little bit more than just one bang bang on that show. Now it's time to talk about the defense. So let's see. It's a draft day again, fantasy draft. Boy Green meets Wudi.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
It is the 4th of July, but this is the party that ain't never gonna stop. Welcome to Boy Green Meets Wudi with your boy James Wudi, Mr. All Caps, no cap, you know what it is. But if you're on this channel, then you truly know what it is, because this is a man, all right, who takes no breaks. You want to talk about all gas, no breaks. Where is Robert Saleh right now? We don't. He's been on break. This man right here takes no breaks all day, every day. The entertainment legend reporter of the year. That's something that Jared is saying. Well, allow me to put my co-signature on that. The one, the only, Boy Green. How you doing today?
Third live show of the day. I'm a crazy psychopath on July 4th. I was going to ask you how your July 4th is going, Wudi, but you're obviously in a prison cell and I'm at my home office. So, hey, different strokes, different folks.
I'm, not to give up too much intel. I'm at my cousin's house. We having a good time. I can actually see the slip and slide and the kids and everything out there. It's a grand old time. Changed up the white wall, got a blue one. I feel like that's a little festive. Red, white, and blue. I got a red, white, and blue. Stars and stripes. So, trying to do my best. Jared, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
There you go. Wudi, now slouch yourself. And the fact that we do this show no matter what, it's July 4th, America, Independence Day, and all that jazz, and we're still here, baby. That just shows the level of dedication. And again, y'all can check it out every Tuesday, Thursday, live at 3 o'clock. And this was a fun show on Tuesday, so why not flip it to the defensive side of the ball and get there? And we will release graphics here in the near future, so you guys can, roast Wudi in the comments for likely another day.
I mean, Boy Green, he desperately needs you to do that because he's still the marshmallow getting roasted in that open fire for the last one with our man's take flight today, Brent. Shout out to you. That list was terrible. And his offense was pretty terrible too. So we'll see if he can clean up with the defense. The good news about this is that the Jets have actually been pretty good defensively. A few regimes, like a few years. It's not just 2015 or now. There have been times in between then and now where the defense has been good.
Yeah, and by the way, folks, so if you may not understand the reference, if you did not see the Tuesday show, it's a YouTube playlist, Boy Green Meets Wudi. They have actually labeled it a podcast, so apparently that's what we are now, Wudi. It's what the YouTube overlords have called it. But you can find the Tuesday episode. We did a fantasy draft for the offense on Tuesday, and that's covering the last decade of Jets football. from 2014 through 2023. So that is our poll to choose from. And the rules are simple this time around. We're flipping it over to the defense. Here are the positions. We each get 2 defensive linemen, 1 inside linebacker, 2 corners, and a safety. And the defensive lineman, because we've played in both schemes over the last 10 years, can be anything. Can be an interior guy, can be an exterior guy, like an edge rusher or anything. So a lot of possibilities with this draft. And again, inside linebacker has to be not an outside linebacker, specifically inside for these positions. And we'll each do a snake draft and find out who has the better roster. But here's the thing, Wudi. Because I had first overall last time, I must balance the scales and give you the first overall pick, King Wudi, to set the tone for this defensive draft.
Absolutely. That's perfectly fine. I'll be more than happy to pick this person. He's actually my favorite current Jet. So there's no way that I am leaving him off this list. I did not want to leave a chance. And I know the perception, I know for a fact he is not first on your draft board. But because this is my list, right? This is the Wudi list. Sometimes when you are feeling good about a player, you got to trade up. You got to you got to go after your guy. And with the first overall pick, I am going after my guy, Boy Green. Play the chimes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was caught with my pants down here. Let's play the chimes. Here we go.
Pull them back up. With the first overall pick in this fantasy made-up 4th of July draft, the Wudi Warriors select none other than the second longest tenured New York Jet today, Quinnen Williams. All right, defensive tackle, Alabama. I mean, I think this guy is everything you want in a player. He is the first of now a few young players that just has a great head on their shoulders. There were questions. People were questioning him. I never questioned him, but, they were questioning, was this a bust, or is he played up to the 3rd overall pick? But, like any position in football, you need help. This is not a one, 53 guys make this roster. It's not a one-on-one. So as soon as they gave him help, boom, all pro. So I'm super excited. And, of course, with the rest of the team that I'm going to draft, we won't have to worry about that either. Quinnen, he will be an all-pro on this squad.
Wow, a great pick. Again, a homegrown talent, someone that is the highest-paid player in history currently on the team. He owns that contract, and I think we could both agree that there's not a player more deserving on this roster to represent the Jets brand and hold that title than Quinnen Williams. What a pick. Wow, that interesting. Fascinating. All right, well, I'm going to go now that it's a snake draft and I got a discount double check here. I've got no choice. I know what both of my picks are going to be, so let's play the chimes, baby. I will counter your current Jet with another current Jet. Give me Sauce Gardner, first team All-Pro over the last 2 years. The only corner to do that in the modern era. I'm going to take Sauce Gardner as one of my corners. Just have to take him. It's self-explanatory, and he will soon be, perhaps, one of the highest paid Jets players in franchise history. We'll see how those numbers wrangle up coming up next year. And you know what? I'm going to take a page from our quarterback's playbook, if that's okay, Wudi. I'm going to do a discount double check, and I'm going Darrelle Revis with my second pick, and I'm just cleaning house on the corners immediately. And a lot of people will say, because, again, we're going over the last decade, although we get their full Jets tenures. Even if you take the season, a lot of people overlook is 2015, where he had 5 interceptions, 9 pass deflections. He had 4 fumble recoveries, which just means right place, right time. He was a monster in 2015. Not quite the same monster as he was in the Defensive Player of the Year running that he should have gotten from Charles Woodson a bunch of years earlier, but he was a turnover king in 2015. Again, that team deserved to go to the gosh darn playoffs. But, yeah, I got to go Darrelle Revis and, beat that corner duo. Sauce Gardner, Darrelle Revis. Pretty gosh darn good. To you, Wudi.
Absolutely. Love Revis. Those numbers in 2015, those turnover numbers looking better than Sauce's career numbers, but that's not here nor there. And they were trying to say Revis lost a step that year, but it's all good. So here we go. We are moving on with the list. You can play the chimes. Give me C.J. Mosley. Okay. Here's the thing. Boy Green referenced this game more than once in the last couple shows here. Week 1, Buffalo Bills up 16-0, lose. He blamed the kicker. Kicker deserves blame. I cannot disagree with that. What I saw as a catalyst, the thing that happened where both sidelines were like, ooh, this is a momentum changer, was C.J. Mosley going down. The boy had a big six. CJ, that was quite the debut he was having. It sucks because after that, we missed him the whole rest of the season. They opted out for COVID. I was really questioning CJ's, Jets career. It seemed like, Tremaine Johnson just overpaid for somebody that's not going to give us anything. But boy, was I wrong. Literally every year since, CJ has been the captain. He's been a great leader, but also on the field production, among the league leaders in tackles every year. So you can really pick, there's multiple years that can be picked, but CJ Mosley, come on down. That's my first pick.
Okay, I love that one. Great pick.
Thank you. You're not going to like this one at all. Let's go to the next pick. This guy, if you're looking objectively, he literally was the best player on the team for multiple years.
Oh no.
It's a fact. It's a fact. All right.
I know what you're saying now. I'll just write it in. I already know what this is going to be.
Okay, thank you. He was great for the Jets. And then, we talk about head on the shoulders. He got upset. I still don't think it's as bad as what the media projected, but hey, he's a villain now. The fan base hates him, but I respect everybody for their service here. That's why Zach Wilson will always be a clown, because he had no service here. But this player, Jamal Adams, Prez, talk about the Prez on my shirt. Prez, he was fantastic. I will never forget playing the Giants with my friends that are Giants fans, and they were just like, the Jets, Giants, yeah, Super Bowl. And my boy Jamal literally just took the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands. Just took him out of his hands and ran that joint back for a TD. Jamal, he was electric. I don't want him back. It's not, anything like that whatsoever. But his time was very much appreciated. I loved watching him play back then, and he was the best we had on the team at that time.
Wow. Yeah, and it's funny, we were just talking about this because my radio partner, him and his son are New York Knicks fans. And he explained to me why he hates jerseys and hates buying them. As he said, his son bought like vintage jerseys, like the stitched and all that jazz, and went all out. His son had multiple Kristaps Porzingis Knicks jerseys. And he just turned to me and said, I can't allow my son to walk around with that in public. It's un-American. We were making all these jokes on air. And it would be un-American. I think he's Latvian, but that's neither here nor there. But he said, I'm screwed. Like, I can't do anything with that. And I gave my Jets comparison on air. I'm like, I have a Jamal Adams jersey. And unless Tony Adams changes his jersey number, I can't wear this with any sense of pride, despite the All-Pro and the Prez and all that stuff. With what he did to Connor Hughes' poor wife and everything else, I'm like, geez, it's hard to feel good, because that's what a jersey is, the equivalent of like wearing a Superman shirt. Like, I love Superman, he's my superhero. And then I put on this and I'm like, yeah, he did murder a guy or whatever he did. And you're like, yeah, well, he was good that one year though. And they're like, Yeah, but what about the other stuff? I'm like, well, I guess so. So I can't wear the Jamal Adams jersey. It's buried in my closet. I just can't wear it. But you are right, especially in the safety position. We're evaluating a draft pool. You're talking about differential of one player to the next. I can't lie. There is a massive gap between Jamal Adams and the next best safety in your roster pool. And there's some fun names actually that I'll go through later. But yeah, Jamal Adams, that's a good pick. I don't know how the great people are going to feel about that, but you know what? If you're picking the dream team, how can Jamal Adams not be on that list? So that's compelling. It's pretty gosh darn compelling. All right, let's go to the draft board. And boy, I'm going to be honest. You know what's revealing about doing a list like this is saying, wait a second, that player did what? Wow, that's a little better than I thought. For instance, we've gotten a few, not that that's any source of pride, Tremaine Johnson comments. I'm like, yeah, Tremaine, trash. He sucked. He had a 4-interception year at the Jets. I didn't even remember that. I'm like, wow, okay, great, apparently. A little better than I thought. Those must have been served to him on a silver platter, perhaps, but very interesting there for like a guy like that. But I have to go to a different position, and let's just play the friggin' chime. The first name I'm picking on this list is Damon Snacks Harrison. And again, this is the complicated nature of our defensive line fantasy draft here, that you can pick gaudy, sexy sack guys, or you could go with like run stuffing. And Damon's a player, especially, isn't that a beautiful way after Jamal Adams? You're like, ugh, I can't feel good about this. I couldn't feel better about picking Damon Snacks Harrison, who is a guy's guy and a great Jets Twitter follow as well on social media. So I have to immediately go to Damon Snacks Harrison, which may have one of the greatest. You say Prez, salute, Prez. What about Snacks, baby? That big bastard eating snacks. And even for a short time, it didn't pick up anywhere. He did a media interview with the Jets team reporters, and he said he wants snacks spelled away where it'd be a tip of the cap to sacks of the sacks he'd be getting, but no one picked up on it on social media. So he said, never mind, forget it. I won't do that. So it didn't pick up any steam, but I remember it, Damon. If we ever get you on for an interview, I'll bring that up to you, and I'll be the one guy that did. But nonetheless, I got to go with a little Damon Snacks Harrison there.
Tremendous pick.
And boy, again, there's nothing I could do to cock block Wudi here, because this defensive line is loaded. Because again, we could go interior, we could go exterior. There's so many massive names here on the list of guys. And this is if you're going to have the New York Jets bad boys, then give me a New York Jets bad boy. Okay, I'm not sure I'm putting the C on his chest, but that's not what we're doing here. Give me Muhammad Wilkerson, baby, on the defensive line. And in that 2015 season, 12 sacks. He was spectacular. Great story. He grew up 5 minutes from the Jets facilities, and it was spectacular. And he's a more sack guy on here than obviously Damon Snacks Harrison. But as soon as he got the bag that we're all begging for, he just quit on the team, gave up, went to the Packers, then disappeared from the league. And he's been in some not put it on your mama's refrigerator news headlines for bad reasons. So not great. But, hey, I'm looking for talent here. And, hey, if Wudi can have a bad boy, why can't I? Muhammad Wilkerson.
Another tremendous pick. I will not lie. I was fully prepared to say his name right here, right now for this pick. But I won't, because I can't. So that is that. But that is, those are two picks, doubling down, the double check twice for the draft. So I guess I got two more. Or no, do I have three more? Let me see.
Three more, right? Yeah, defensive line, corner. You don't have either corners yet, and one other defensive lineman. Yep.
All right. Let's do it.
Yep, hit the chimes, baby.
My first pick, I'm not gonna lie, my team a little top heavy, but this player, no one will accuse him of being top heavy. All right, give me DJ Reed. All right, somebody who, as a Jet, has actually ascended. This is a rare person who ascended as a Jet, not fell off. A lot of the people, obviously not including like the current, like Sauce or Quinnen, but we talk about Wilkerson or Adams, right? Right after that, it was the end, right? Like this was them coming down. DJ Reed, he's ascending. Yep, there we go. We got Boy Green. For anybody who's listening to this on mute, we got the up and the down because that's what DJ Reed has been doing. That first pick that he had, his very first game as a Jet against the Ravens, I was like, yo, this dude is about to be a legend. I'm not sure if he has had any more than one additional interception after that, but he is still a very, very good corner. PFF actually says he is an elite corner, top 10, top 15 at times. And out of all the corners in the league, that is a very high percentile. So give me that man. Mama, there goes that man, DJ Reed, for my first pick.
Great guy, and a lot of people push back on this, but DJ Reed is one of the best free agent acquisitions in franchise history. First off, because they don't have a lot of them, and number two, he's been pretty damn good. He deserves respect on his name.
Yes, absolutely, 100% deserves respect. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. Play the chimes, and we'll. Oh, there we go. Second pick to the Wudi Warriors. I'm actually super torn between two players who I both thought were the future of the New York Jets, and it did not turn out to be like that. I am going to go with Sheldon Richardson.
Love that guy.
Sheldon Richardson was a young, promising. The other player, if you're curious to know, was Leonard Williams, who was another one who I felt like if, Lennon and Quinnen, if they like Leonard was by himself, Quinnen was by himself, but they both had the talent. You saw immediately once he went to the other team in MetLife, he was putting up numbers. So, I felt like it was a little impatient getting rid of Leonard. Sheldon, I guess if we're talking about bad boys, he would qualify as one of those, but definitely promising. And we got some dogs. We got some dogs in this line. I like my line. I like my line.
Okay, two things here. First off, Sheldon Richardson has the greatest autograph in team history. Let's see. Okay, it's going to be impossible to see, but it's right here. There's no way I could grab it quick enough. But his autograph is an S money sign, boom, boom, and then he goes Rich 91. So it's S, boom, boom, Rich. And when he made it, I remember saying it, and he gave me a wink. So you're going through Jets training camp. I'm like, oh, hey, Master Richardson, big fan. I'm just a little kid. And then he signs it, and I'm like, whoa, that's an amazing autograph. And he just kind of winked at me, gave me a heads up, and kept going down the line. So he's got one of the most badass signatures in the business. And people forget how good he was. So defense rookie of the year. The Jets have had a lot of those actually in their history. And then he was a Pro Bowler the next year. People forget how damn good Sheldon Richardson was. He had 8 sacks that year. And ultimately, another thing people forget about, he was traded to the Seattle Seahawks for a second-round draft choice, which is part of the package that got us Sam Darnold. So he kind of helped with all of that jazz. Sheldon, man, he's a beast. And I wish he was still playing the league. He has not played in the league since 2021, but he lasted a decade in the league. He played a long time, man. So shout out to Sheldon. 33.5 sacks, a lot of really good numbers. He was very high on my list. I love Sheldon. So, that's a great pick. Definitely a bad boy. He would, check that one off the old bucket list here. And by the way, just a random shout out just because this group was so big. Bryce Huff, Jordan Jenkins, Steve McClendon, Lorenzo Malden, Quentin Coples, who actually had a pretty good year or two, which I didn't remember him having. I was just so disappointed by it. And shout out to Calvin Pace, the old man bastard that got a 10-sack season somewhere in there over the last decade. So Calvin Pace, very nice. Okay, wow. This is it's an interesting combination of players here. And I'm going to wrap up my draft right now, and I see it in the chat, so I'll play the chimes. There's a lot of really, really good players coming in here. And what I struggled with is promise for the now versus the future, because, for instance, we have Jared B in here. And, how did we leave Antonio Cromartie off, which is hard to believe. He was spectacular. He was very high on my corners list. But I have all my corners in Revis and Sauce. But, shout out to Cromartie. But, no, the other one he brought up was DeMario Davis. And Wudi already picked his with C.J. Mosley. You can't go wrong there. But the linebackers that are on this list, David Harris has been in the last decade, Quincy Williams, first-team All-Pro. There's a lot of guys here. But I will go, because of the longevity and the history, I'm going to Mario Davis here. And remember, which is another funny guy, because for shits and giggles, I'll make him the other safety on this team. He was the guy who was traded to reacquire DeMario Davis. I don't know why I'm picking this. It's actually a lesser player than what's on the board, but the Louisville Slugger, Calvin Pryor, who we traded to the Browns and got into a bunch of fights. We got DeMario Davis for his crazy Pro Bowl year, and then he hit free agency and goes to the Saints, and we never saw him again. I'll go Calvin Pryor here. Probably should have went Marcus May in all honesty, but you know what? F it. You know, you only live once. So there you go. The Louisville Slugger there as well. That rounds out the group, and I'll give my full thing after Wudi finishes off his list here. Oh wait, you did finish off your list, did you not?
No, I didn't. I have one person. Wait, but who was your linebacker?
DeMario Davis.
So you went okay, and then got okay. Yeah, wow, yeah. I feel like you left. Yeah, May. I feel like May. I'm taking May over Pryor for sure.
For sure.
And then Quincy. I feel like as Jets.
Well, DeMario's. Let me pull it up if I'm not mistaken, and I don't think I am. DeMario Davis's year, his singular year that got him paid right before he left to there. Yes, his numbers are better than Quincy, but it depends on what numbers you focus in on, especially on. I have to pull up. I don't have coverage grades in front of me, but it's crazy that he had a season which he led the team in sacks. That was that 2017 year before he got crazy money with 5 sacks on top of some of his other gaudy numbers, getting close in the tackle record book for the Jets in a single season too. So yes, of course. So just so people know, it's only Jets tenure. We can't include all of the stuff they're doing in other places like DeMario in New Orleans. But I believe his best year, which was his final year with the Jets, is comparable to the first-team All-Pro we just saw from Quincy. Like I said, that's kind of the balance of what you're investing in now for the future, because obviously DeMario is much older. But I went DeMario. But yeah, Quincy, it's a damn shame he doesn't get picked here. But I can't shame you for Mosley either.
Yeah, it's I mean, like I said, defense, we actually had good players. So it wasn't that, there were actually talented players that got left off. Mr. Irrelevant, it's time. Play the chime.
Oh, yeah. I totally said we wrote this guy off. Maybe we didn't. Here we go.
I can't lie. There wasn't really a good year for him to choose from. But if the graphic comes to be, and we were worried about roasting on the marshmallow, I can't put any other name than Antonio Cromartie to at least have the respect. But in the 2014 to 2023 window, I would say Tremaine, right, had 4 interceptions in 10 games. I would also say Bryce Hall was, I want to say
16, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was second in the league in
pass
deflections. So, I mean, those were 2 seasons where, hey, that guy was operating as CB1 and really did work. Cromartie was operating as CB2, didn't really have anything to write home about, but people's choice. I made choices that were for me, right? I picked Jamal Adams. I picked Quinnen Williams first, right, to give you the most lethal cornerback duo of all time. So let me sit back and choose one pick for the people.
I love that. And the other shout outs real quick, obviously Michael Carter II is like, it's hard to leave him off the list. This is another one, super underrated. I don't think people are going to give the love and respect to this guy, but he was really good while he was here. Mo Claiborne, when he came over from the Dallas Cowboys to the New York Jets. Again, a guy that gets lost in Jets history because we've had a lot of really good players. Mo Claiborne was on my power rankings. I didn't know how the combination would go because we only have 2 corners, so we probably would have always resulted in guys that were better. Like, I thought your first overall pick, honestly, was going to be Sauce, and then I'd have to go like a Revis Crow, old school cornerback to it. So when he did, I'm like, oh, cool, I'll mix old and new. But, yeah, big shout out to Mo Claiborne, too.
Absolutely. This isn't Jet related, but Jared's question is very, very interesting. My first thought when you asked it was the 49ers, but I'm actually thinking the Falcons are a pretty sneaky good choice.
49ers are good because obviously you got multiple wide receiver options. Ayuk, Debo, Christian McCaffrey's spectacular. And Brock Purdy is better than you think he is in fantasy world.
You think so? In fantasy? I feel like he's worse in fantasy because he's not putting up like hundreds of yards. Like he just has a really good passer rating and doesn't turn the ball over. But like it's not like he's getting 300 yards and 3 TDs.
No, that's true. I guess I think maybe my perception's wrong of what people's perception is of him. I believe people are like, he's only getting it for the system. Purdy success. Mm-hmm. And I think he's better than that when it comes to fantasy. We had a few people in some of my fantasy leagues that had Brock Purdy as their quarterback, and they made it further because it's ironic. The same thing. They had great teams around him, and he was kind of steady Eddie, where he didn't have crazy numbers, but he was just steady Eddie in terms of the success, which is interesting. So he's not like let me think. Oh, boy. All kinds of team names are coming to my head. Obviously, Jets. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. That team's pretty gosh darn good. But I love the Falcons pick. It's probably your winner because every other position they're lacking something. Like I love the Ravens, but their wide receivers suck.
It used to be the Cowboys. I've ridden the Cowboys to a championship. Like the QB RB. Yeah. Oh my God, running back. I mean, QB RB wide receiver combo they've had.
I'm a little worried about Zeke right now, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I definitely wouldn't do that right now. Hell no, I wouldn't do that right now. But the Jets. Here's my thing about the Jets. Obviously, I'm putting everything that I own on Breece Hall stock, but I don't know how prolific the offense is going to be as a whole. Like it's a defensive. Like I feel this whole time under Saleh's reign, we've been saying, if we could just get somebody who could just throw the football. Now we have somebody who could throw it really well, so we're good. But I don't think that means that the offense is about to be, top 3 in the league. Like I think they're just going to do their job. So I think outside of Aaron, Breece, Garrett, is there more food to eat? Is Aaron eating a lot? Like I don't know. I know we probably have different thoughts on that, but I think it's still a defensive team that can now just score the ball.
Yeah, another one I thought of, and Jerby said him, is the Dolphins. Sneaky at tight end is Jonnu Smith, who did work for me. He was my starting tight end for a big piece of my fantasy season. I won the championship last year, and he played some good roles. The wide receivers are obvious. You have a bunch of running backs. That'll probably be harder to pick one, but just talking about fantasy offense in general, because you have Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, and then obviously the new kid in Jalen Wright. So you got a lot of talent on that team. It might be hard to separate. And by the way, the Bengals are running back is Zach Moss, the former Indianapolis guy, and that depends on stock you're buying. So we had pockets where we replaced Taylor, like, oh, good. And then is he the same guy for the Bengals? Was that flash in the pan, which, by the way, we've seen from players before? That's unclear as he replaces Joe Mixon, who went to Houston. So that's Houston, good choice. CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon. They got a million receivers. Yeah, I'm probably picking Texans. Actually, after we've kind of worked our way through the whole thing, that's a super fun offense.
Definitely. And they run in the Shanahan style, so they actually know how to, and they know how to run it. Oh my gosh, what a organization they got going on.
All right, let's recap our list. So here they are. Again, this was a fantasy draft. The draft pool was from 2014 through 2023, a decade of seasons. Obviously, 2024 doesn't count. And here are the rules. 2 defensive linemen, can be anything. Interior, outside. 1 inside linebacker, 2 corners, and 1 safety. Those are the rules. Here is my players based on those rules. Damon Snacks Harrison, Muhammad Wilkerson, Demario Davis, Sass Gadna, Darrell Revis, and Calvin the Louisville Slugger Pryor.
Nice. And the Wudi Warriors, hide your kids, hide your wives, is Quinnen Williams, Sheldon Richardson. We got C.J. Mosley, the captain. Oh, captain, my captain. DJ Reed, Antonio Cromartie Crow. He just came back to the Jets. All right, so now we have to draft him one more time, hit him with it. And, of course, I know, hey, I know how you guys feel. I know how you feel. But on the 4th of July, when we glorifying the presidents, please just remember the glory days of our own Prez, Jamal Adams, the captain, the all-pro, that dog, ruff, 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 until he got neutered. We don't talk about the neutering. We just talk about him and his days as a dog. Appreciate you, Jared.
And as Jared says, it's hard to pick apart either of our teams, to be honest. As much as I want to trash Woody and call him ugly and all kinds of things. I mean, it's America's holiday, for Pete's sake. It'd be unbecoming. But quite frankly, with all the talent. And then for a short time, we had the Sons of Anarchy. First off, I love the show. But Harrison, Wilkerson, Richardson, we had all the Sons there. That nickname could have gotten some more run, but they didn't last together as long as I wanted them to. And yeah, so the teams are both good, both really talented. A little harder on offense, less hard on defense because we're friggin' stacked, baby. So great. A great 4th of July show. And Woody, I said it on one of the other million live shows that I did today, is the fact of the matter is we are 19 days away from report day for the veterans for the New York Jets. And the first day of training camp is of practice, is 20 days away from today, and the rookies report a few days before that. So it's in the late teens. We're actually like 2 weeks away from the rookies reporting to training camp. So we're right there, Woody. We're right on the precipice, man.
Let's go. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. And everybody who's watching now, watching later, enjoy the burgers, the barbecue, the beverages, and I would say more importantly than anything else is to be safe out there. Everybody wants to be a hero till they start looking like JPP. So please just, be safe, have fun, and God bless America.
And speaking of that, I thought this is where you were going with the PSA, not for the blown up hands and fireworks, but I would also say, obviously, a lot of people enjoy liquid courage and the cold beverage, which I'm about to get. I am on fire. Sweat is falling off my face right now. I'm in a fucking. I am in a excuse my Guatemalan. I'm in a freaking sauna over here, and I am hot as balls. So I will be getting a cold beverage immediately after the show. But please make sure DD designated driver, or for God's sake, sleep at whatever family member's house you're at. That's more important than a reckless decision in a brief amount of time. So same thing.
Definitely. And yeah, we will talk to you guys. Well, for Boy Green Daily, they'll talk to you. He'll be there tomorrow. But if you're looking for all caps, no cap, we'll pick it back up next week.
All right, Woody, and back to the slip and slide for you, pal. And I'm looking forward to it. Have a great weekend, man.
You too.
God bless. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.